Hi folks, hope this finds you all well, safe, isolate and keep in contact with family, friends and neighbours using the various social media sites. I came across a little piece yesterday which I'd like to share with you. So I'm going to give the song a knock today, probably saying great. I'd just like to share this little sentiment with you. It's called Famine and Evictions. While we were being told about our economic growth, success and innovations, we must never forget our past. There is no present without a past, and our past has been blighted with famine and war. We must never forget the plight of the Irish people through the great famine times. It was real. It did happen, and we are so fortunate not to have experienced those terrible times. The Great Famine was a period of mass starvation, disease and immigration between 1845 and 1852. During the famine, 1 million people died, 1 million more immigrated. While the cause of the famine was potato blight, Ireland was still producing and exporting more than enough grain, crops to feed the population. 50 shiploads per day of food was being exported. Absentee landlords were either consciously or unconsciously engaged in a genocide. The 1847 Gregory Clause provided that no tenant holding more than a quarter of an acre of land was eligible for workhouse public assistance. To become eligible, the tenant had to surrender his holding to his landlord. Some tenants sent their children to the workhouses as orphans so they could keep their land and still have their children fed. Tenants who surrendered their land but tried to remain living in their houses were evicted and their homes were burned. Estate clearing landlords and agents were supported by soldiers and police when carrying out evictions and destroying and burning homes. Helpless evicted people were driven off the land to seek temporary shelter behind walls, ditches, bog holes, absolutely and totally unfit for human habitation. Disease and starvation left the roads littered with emaciated corpses. When there was widespread criticism in British newspapers over the evictions, the Home Secretary, Sir George Grey, refused to bring criminal proceedings against evicting landlords. As a grand gesture of goodwill, he made it a misdemeanour to demolish a dwelling while the tenants were inside, and prohibited evictions on Christmas Day and Good Friday. Eventually, the Irish Poor Law Statute made landlords responsible for relief of the poor on the smallest properties. This gave landlords the incentive to evict tenants or pay passage for them on the coffin ships to the Americas. The famine was a watershed in the history of Ireland. It was a rallying point for Home Rule and the United Ireland movement, which eventually led to Irish independence. So last Friday, being Good Friday, a dwelling could not be demolished while the tenants were inside. In summary, we have been through very, very bad times, but we as a nation are very resilient and will get through the current hidden and unseen COVID-19 virus. Enjoy and stay safe.